As a young child, I was terrified of roller coasters. I always thought that something terrible would happen. I would never get on them. And I remember specifically one time I was standing in line with my sister at Disneyland, waiting to get on Space Mountain. We were probably in line for like 45 minutes, and I did not get on because I chickened out. I wasn't able to. I started crying. And it's funny because after that, I developed such an interest for roller coasters. A few years after that, like in middle school, I was really into like the physics of roller coasters and all the manufacturers and all the aspects of roller coasters. And it's actually inspired me to become a mechanical engineering major. That's why I kind of chose this path of like physics and like, I just love physics. But roller coasters are actually really safe, and they are something that gives you certain sensations that you just wouldn't be able to experience otherwise, because roller coasters are made specifically to give you those sensations. Roller coasters are an engineering marvel, and they're designed to give you pleasure, they're for entertainment, and they're just good fun. Um, According to Mohammed Tuhin for the Science Today, physics, roller coasters, how thrills are engineered, everything going into a roller coaster is thought of. Everything about a roller coaster has been proven by physics. A bunch of physicists and engineers get together and make sure that the roller coaster is going to be safe and thrilling for people to enjoy. And after this, I hope you have a deeper appreciation for roller coasters and all the things that have gone into them. We need to know where roller coasters first came from. We also want to talk about how safe they are, and we want to talk about how roller coaster design is so fascinating. Roller coasters are fun, and I'm sure you've all enjoyed them in the past. Maybe you're too scared to get on some, maybe you're not. And sometimes people feel nauseous from them. It just depends on the person, but I think most people really do enjoy roller coasters. Roller coasters actually, the concept of roller coasters began in Russia. They had this sled and it would go down like some ice, and there would be some lanterns. It was all very tame, and this was in the early 1800s. And during this time, it was something new, something brand new, super cool. So like everyone was really willing to give it a shot. After that, roller coasters kind of died down. In France, they tried to popularize them, but they died down almost immediately because people just weren't that into them. Roller coasters were very tame. They were only going about 5 miles an hour. So nothing really too crazy. And roller coasters have developed a lot since then. After that, there was a few like trains that would be going through areas that were just really beautiful, and people would just, it was like scenic routes that people would take with the roller coaster, but it was really a train taking them. What you think of as a roller coaster would have probably happened in about the later 1800s in Brooklyn, New York. There was something called a switchback, and it just had multiple hills going up and down, didn't go past 20 miles per hour. Very slow, but it was really thrilling at the time, and people didn't experience something like that ever. So it was really cool. And then at Six Flags Magic Mountain in 1976, there was the first vertical loop. And at that point, vertical loops, there was some beforehand, but they were very forceful because they were just a complete circle, and they went too fast through the circle, and they hadn't perfected the vertical loop yet. So it had gotten too many G-forces for people to handle. A lot of people would black out on these roller coasters. So the Revolution roller coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain in 1976 was the first modern day vertical loop, which is really exciting. And actually that roller coaster is still open at Six Flags Magic Mountain. It's been refurbished, and it's really exciting. And now that you have kind of like a background on roller coasters, we can talk about like the safety features. Parks want guests to feel safe and they want to ensure everyone's safety, so they go through many different protocols in order to make sure that roller coasters are safe. Firstly, there's sensors all over roller coasters. There's sensors at every single track placement, and that's about 5 feet apart. Even like every 2 feet, there's a sensor, and that just makes sure that everything is running smoothly, everything is in its place, and it makes sure that the roller coasters go through at the right timing. If the timing is off, then the whole thing shuts down, and they don't pull out any more trains, they don't let any more people get on the ride, and they fix the problem before it becomes a problem. The sensors only really go off if a train gets stuck, which is very unlikely because trains use gravity in order to go through the roller coaster. So it's very unlikely for anything bad to happen during a roller coaster. There's also a lot of testing done on roller coasters. Every single day, a roller coaster is tested. Every single day, roller coasters are tested thoroughly. There's inspections, and they run the trains a bunch of times to ensure that they're running smoothly and that nothing bad will happen during the day. Restraints are also another way that roller coasters are safe. A lot of people think that you need the over-the-shoulder restraints in order to have a roller coaster be safe, but that's actually not true. You only really need a lap bar and your seatbelt in order to go through a roller coaster and go through the upside downs and everything like that. It really doesn't take a lot to make sure you stay in your seat. But of course, different rides and different roller coasters have different ways of putting you in your restraint. Also, a lot of children's roller coasters will have the overhead because they're catering more to the kids so that they are able to ride those bigger rides as well. And roller coaster designing goes really into physics. It's a lot of math. It's a lot of knowing everything that's going on. You have to know wind resistance. You have to take into account everything from weather to the capacity of the roller coaster to people's weights. And a lot of roller coasters use magnets in order to brake. And they use gravity, obviously, just to go through the motions. A lot of them use chain lifts. They're called chain lifts, and it's just a chain that hooks onto the roller coaster, and then it brings the roller coaster up, and it goes down, going through the roller coaster. And I love roller coasters. I really hope everyone does too, listening to this, and I hope you enjoy roller coasters more after this, after you know how roller coasters started in Russia. They developed so much throughout Europe, through the United States. They became safer, and there's so much going into a roller coaster that you don't really have to worry about anything. Thank you so much.